Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Happy Cyber Monday.
Happy Cyber Monday. What a day.
We're on the same wavelength track.
Mm.
How are you guys doing? Survived Black Friday? Surviving Cyber Monday?
Yeah, anyone do any shopping late night? Actual, like real, go on the ground, go into stores kind of shopping?
No. I tap on myself like late night on my phone, like, oh, I probably need to save 15% on this thing. And it's like, it drives me insane that I do it. But I have not gone out and I won't. I guess it's too late now. It's all over.
I had a bunch of gift cards. I was ready.
Nice.
I had gift cards, and then I just waited for the discounts to drop, and boom. I had points and everything. So Christmas is almost
Wow.
done, and I've spent
Oh
less
my
than
gosh.
$100. So
Oh my gosh.
You are who we aspire to be. My wife and I were talking about, like, we need to plan for this. Like,
yeah.
See, my issue is that because something's on sale, I'm like, oh, well, I'll probably just buy this and maybe I'll find someone to give it to. And I spend well over $100 on gifts that I don't even have. They're not even for specific people. They're just like, oh, it's on sale and this is a cool thing. So I have failed. But well done.
It requires many browser windows, logging in and logging in again, checking prices in multiple places, camel, watching a few YouTube videos. It was Saturday. It was just like, I was all over everything. So, but Friday itself, I did not. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm watching everybody getting really excited about the Kadence Black Friday Cyber Monday sale, which is still ongoing, and lots of discussions in the group about people just really excited about where Kadence is right now and where Kadence is going. So fun times.
Yeah. Fun times. It's been, from the dev perspective, it has been lots of late nights, lots of like, we're coming to the end of the year, we're getting ready to push out multiple major things, and they're not all from the same dev team. So we're like combining branches, and there's some like definitely technical hurdles we've been working through, but we're like, it's getting exciting for sure on the dev side. The advanced query is really cool, and that with the repeater field adds some awesome stuff. And then what's nice is like we're doing a few other like minor feature things, like repeatable countdown timers, so you can set them like every Tuesday I have an event, you can set the time, set the date, and then it'll just, after that time, it'll just keep counting down to the next Tuesday and the next Tuesday. So we're doing that. That's close. So like there's like, we had to do this big push to get through most of the dev work on these big features, and now it's like, okay, we get to like jump in and finish some of this other stuff too as we come in to like really clean out. Yeah, it's exciting. Like there's some stuff for the advanced slider, like being able to do carousels. That's one that a lot of people wanted. That's coming really soon, where you'll be able to just like add an advanced slider and then turn it into a carousel. And some cool stuff there. So it's like, we've been talking a lot about like advanced query and repeater fields, and then AI, and how AI is going to, change the design library and how you like build pages. But then there's also like key features that we've been wanting to do and now are like getting done. So
yeah. So last week, my notes are all over the place. The advanced query loop was released in a release candidate. Did the repeater field come with that as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's kind of in beta. People can play with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's in pre-release. So
okay,
we're really comfortable with it not breaking people's website, in terms of like most of what's added there is back-end stuff. Like you would need to add the block to use it. So we didn't release it just primarily because it's, there was people taking break for Thanksgiving, things like that.
Sure.
We don't want to release it that week. And so, yeah, that one you can go and test. We're working on the final release, and if everything goes smoothly between now and tomorrow afternoon, it'll go out tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon, so
Kadence
November 28th.
Yeah. So that'll go out to people's sites where they can just update right in their admin.
Okay.
And that's the primary thing with that is the advanced query loop, the repeater fields, and it's also got some updates for dynamic content in terms of like dynamic content inherits context better. And especially when you're using it in like a button or an advanced text block, we've added this option to like not use inline in certain query environments where it's really hard to get the context, and that really makes the like the user experience better. So
yeah,
It's
very
so
cool.
awesome.
I am so sad that I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. And I see everybody else playing with it, and I've just been so busy.
So
that
fun.
Ben, do you have a demo? Like, can you give us like a?
Yeah.
I haven't even watched your. There's a video here on YouTube. It's on.
Oh,
Facebook
come on! You
too.
haven't watched my video yet?
I watched like the first minute of it, and it was just. Can you hear
I
my
watched
voice? I
it.
got sick too. I think I got like COVID teenagers edition, something she brought home from school, and
Shoot.
I was just like literally on the sofa,
That's
like
the worst.
my furnace wasn't working. It was, and I was just like, no, I have to cancel this. Don't care how cold I am. I cannot give this to the furnace guy with his like 7 kids. I can't do it. So yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm sorry, I haven't watched it, but I'm sure there's some other people here who haven't watched it yet either. Can you give us like a live demo of like what this is all about?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
So pull it up here. This is just a basic layout with blog posts in a grid. And you can see that we've got this filter bar at the top. And what this does different from like our current post grid block, which post grid block is nice for some simple stuff, but its filter only filters the results on the page. It doesn't actually query the site and bring back results. And so it's nice if you're like, you want to use that on like a page where you're not like all the posts are already loaded. But like in this example, we've got pagination because we're only loading 9 posts on the grid. And then if you want to see more, you would hit like next, and then that would bring up the next posts. And that happens without page load, which is nice too. So that's all just super quick. And with the filters, what's great about that is we can filter through your, whatever it is, this is categories, and all of that gets indexed on the back end. So it happens really fast and feels like great for the end user to be able to quickly jump through stuff. So there's some other examples too, like you can create filters that work on your sidebar. So you click that and it, semi instantly jumps through, which is great. You've got search now inline that'll do the same thing. And all of this happens without having to reload the page. So, and, in this case, you can do products as well. So I can click through and, find the products that I want to have, all without reloading. And so on the back end, you can see, I'll do this layout real quick. You can see this product one. I've got my query loop, and that I'm pulling in the post types products, and I've got the results per page, and I've even got some styling options so I can like kind of generally style some of the filters and stuff in this. And then inside of that, I have my filters, so I can place these anywhere. I can put it on top, and I can create different layouts and sidebars. And then I've got my query card, and the query card is this individual item here, and that's a template that you can put whatever you want in. So in this case, I've got all my product blocks from the shop kit. So if we create a new page here and open up the query loop, we'll start from scratch. Here you can see we've got some basic layouts that you can choose from. So we can go to that simple filters. You can choose the post types, create, And now I've got like, here's what this filter is going to look like, some placeholder, and I can start building a card. And when you get to cards, you've got the option to like load any one of your existing cards that you've created. So you can create multiple queries throughout your site, but then have that card always staying the same, so you're not rebuilding it, things like that. Or you can create new, and then you've got some like pre-built options. So, you know, this image card is kind of cool. You can drop that in, and then it'll pull in all the dynamic content. And so you can see here just a nice layout with images. This is your go into the styles here and look at this. Yeah, I've enabled dynamic content, and this is the post title for the current post. And then here on the subtitle, scroll down here, enable dynamic content, and it's the post title, post date for the current post. So that's how you put it all together. These cards can then be switched. So if I go back to this card block, I can jump to the blog card, and then it'll update. And cards contain the columns area, which is cool too. So, you know, you can use the query block in multiple different places, and then your card can be designed like, hey, I want to use a list here, and then I want to use a grid and another one. So that's kind of the gist. I think there's one more interesting thing to show, and that is just like that the repeater field works in this. So in this kind of example here, I've got some fake staff where I've used ACF to add in an image and name, position, bio, and then a repeater area, which, you know, in this case, the example would be like asking your staff to give you some favorites, but not defining like it has to be the favorite what. This allows the staff to put in 2, 10, whatever you want. And then when we actually output this in a query loop, so we'll visit the site, staff, you can output that and it'll just repeat until it's shown all the ones that are available. And so that's the brilliant thing about the repeater field block, is you can stick it inside of a query loop and then use that. So here's the repeater block. Let's pull up the list so everyone can see repeater, and then I've got a repeater layout. And then inside the repeater layout, I just got an advanced text block, and I've set that text block to use repeater context, and it's using the field favorite. And then the link setting here is using the dynamic link from the repeater field. So some interesting, really cool stuff you can start to build now.
Very nice. I've got a few questions. I think you partially answered this, but is it possible to select multiple filter options?
So yes. Let's go back here. Am I sharing? In this example, you can select multiple, and you can define on the back category or each like checkbox area. You can say, I want this to be and query or query. So like whether or not you want to show category, like show posts that are in category sustainable and organic or organic. So right now this is set up to show and so you can see that only these posts show in this section organic that is an and then you can do tags, and here I could use this one, and it's going to add, I don't show the tags in the blog layout, but it's going to add in any posts that are also in this tag, which means it's not just these two. And you can change the logic on that. So it could be, I want this to be, you know, only posts that are in sustainable and beauty routes or beauty routines, sorry. And that would then just filter that. So it's set up to apply multiple. And then with that, you always get a link that you can actually link to. So like I can link back and these filters will be applied, or even reload the page and these filters will be applied.
Nice. All right. On products, can you add individual hand-picked products to a template?
Not right now. So the query loop block is designed to be a query of posts. So you could, your hand pick could be like, I created a category that was featured, and that's your query. So I'm querying that category. We are going to create a way to do query and hand select. So it kind of works a little bit differently. When you hand select, it just changes how the stuff works in terms of like filtering and stuff like that. But it's like one of our number one things we're going to do next is give you the option to hand select posts, pages, things like that. Along with that, so there's two things we're looking to add, in the next couple of weeks, and that is being able to hand select and then being able to set it to be related posts. So you could put it into a blog template or a blog post template and then show related posts using our block.
Great. Very, very cool. Another question, can we query ACF CPT relationships like staff members on a location page?
I need to understand this better. So you can staff members on a location page. So like you can still use ACF relationships. That doesn't really change. I guess I don't know if you're wanting to show like only certain staff members based on it. I guess I need more information about how that's going to look, because inside of, just like we're doing with the staff, like inside of a query card, you can create, pull dynamic content through relationships. This blog post or this page doesn't have any, but like the dynamic text, you can still come down here and say, I want to pull in meta relationship. And so if you do that, you would say, like, let's say I want this post title to be based on a relationship. You can pull in a relationship source and then update that. Or you can use like actual post meta field, which is like ACF.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the relationship source is the key. So you can use you can use a post field to do that. We've talked about relationship sources in the past, and I believe there's some tutorial videos out and documentation, but that's how you can use relationship. I'm not sure that that's what's being asked though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And to answer Heath's question, we can look to use this it's in Kadence Blocks Pro, correct?
Just Pro.
Okay. And
yeah,
it is
I've answered this question a lot. If you are a Kadence Pro member, you go to cadencep.com/my account. It's in your My Account. Go to downloads and you can see it. The pre-release is there. It's version 2.1 of Kadence Blocks Pro. And you can start using it now. And then starting tomorrow, it'll just be pushed out into your normal updates that you see in your dashboard.
Yeah, tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how things go between now and tomorrow with our final, like we're adding in a couple tweaks to the way that filters work.
Okay, great. And then a question about where they can find the and/or setting for filters.
Yeah, so it's not in the release that's out, but you can find it here, compare type. That's going to compare on the filter level, and then on the query loop itself, you can find it here, compare multiple filters with and or.
Okay, so not asking correctly, where on the website would it be beneficial? So some use cases.
Yeah, so use cases would be if you're wanting to show, if you have blog posts that you want to show categories where it's filterable, like if you've got if your blog is full of a lot of content that is timeless, and you see people come into your site and they're looking for specific things, categories like that you wrote about, things like that, giving them this kind of a filter environment where they can quickly like filter down to what they want, search what they want in a page, that makes the, your typical blog page way more engaging for the end user, and just a lot more, a lot quicker to get what they want.
Yeah.
But it can also be used, the same thing for products, just in terms of like the filters. I mean, that's kind of the key, is like you can template out exactly what you want to show up in your blog card. And so like, if you want to make a blog page and you're like, I really want the card to be an image card, that layout is in itself hard to do unless you're using something like this. So it allows you to create grids of custom post types that could be staff, could be, testimonials that you like put into a custom post type, and now you want to output in a special way, designed a certain way. Products, events, kind of, you name it. And usually there's some grid view of it or list view where you potentially want to have filters.
Got it. Okay. Hannah, you know the answer to this question, right?
Well, I was just looking that up. I don't know what the answer is for you specifically. Oh. You should be able to download it. I haven't had an issue downloading it, so I don't know if you have something then.
It's Safari browser.
Yeah.
Oh,
Safari browser by default will unzip your download. So you're actually downloading a zip. It's unzipping it once it's fully downloaded and deleting that zip file. You can right click on it and click compress. And what I would also suggest you do is, 1, stop using Safari. It's an awful browser. 2, and that's just personal, I'm teasing. 2, you can go into your Safari preferences and turn that off. You can just say like, don't unzip on download in the preferences. And a quick Google search will show you what that is. But you can also take that folder, right click, compress, and then upload that.
All right. I've seen this question a couple of times. I'm just going to take the most recent one. Is it possible to add like a product price into this kind of query?
That's stuff we're working on. So like phase 1 for us of getting this out the door was like really nailing down the template side of things, and being able to use like the shop kit blocks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And you can see here, like all of this now shows up on the back end of queries and query cards. We need to nail that down. The next thing is adding more filters. So we know that there's going to be people who want price filters, who want weird swatch-based filters, like showing color, but actually like defining different colors in that. So you can see like a swatch filter instead of like the labels on things, or hooking into like product brands in a way that shows the brand logo instead of just the name, that kind of stuff. We're working on like the, even more advanced stuff for WooCommerce in particular, but we're also looking at like the events calendar and LearnDash and things like that, for like, how do we find the big plugins that people are using and really give you all the filters that specific plugin needs.
Wow.
So lots of fun stuff to add. Like we've got the framework now, and it's just a lot easier to add that stuff now that everything's been figured out.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So if this looks something that you're going to use and you don't have Kadence Pro, it's time. Now is the time. It's Cyber Monday. We're having a sale. You can go to cadencewp.com, hit right at the top. I'm not even going to post a link because it's that easy. Just go to cadencewp.com. You can go there and you can just click on the top and get right to the Black Friday page, where you can see all of the various sales that we have available. We've got, I think almost everything on the site is 40% off. And then that lifetime bundle is $200 off. And then if you are a Kadence Pro user and you want to just get in on an early renewal and extend that license because this is so exciting to you, you get 25% off for that. So yeah, Jennifer, you're on it. That lifetime deal. Just makes everything so much easier, doesn't it? So this is the time. We don't always put lifetime on sale, but when it does go on sale, that's when you wanna jump on all of that, because so much is coming for Kadence, not just this advanced query loop and the repeater fields that are landing in dashboards tomorrow, but all of the other fun stuff, repeatable countdown timers. Just how much fun is that?
Yeah.
So much fun.
It is fun.
I'm excited. I don't know where I'm going to use it, but I'm going to use it somewhere. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have more demos, Ben? Anything else you want to show?
Yeah, I think we should probably talk about AI for a second and just where we're at status-wise with that. I think we've been really pushing to get something out. I was like, I'm definitely going to get it out before Black Friday. And then, life happens and code happens and you got to make it right. So,
I'm glad you're bringing this up, because I would have had to answer many, many, many questions on Facebook later today. Being like, why didn't Ben talk about Kadence AI and where is it?
So I'll just kind of demo where we're at here of like how things are going to work. So right now we had to create this authorization kind of flow. So I'm going to disconnect here and just kind of walk you through. There's a new homepage under Kadence. This is like how we're going to integrate stuff, like starter templates is going to live under Kadence eventually.
Nuts. We're still seeing the query loop.
Share this tab instead.
It's that. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Ooh, that looks shiny.
Okay, so yeah, new homepage where you're going to be asked to activate Kadence AI. This, if you're already logged into the Kadence site, you're going to just get prompted with a connect button. And I already have a license, so it already knows what the license is, and it's just like, yeah, great, connect. And then you jump into our wizard, which we've previewed before, and I've got some demo content in there for Pinnacle Foods, where you walk through and you can see all the way down to your images and then generate content or save. If you generate that content, then it goes through and starts generating AI content in the background. And this is going to fill out your design library. So that whole flow, it also works with free users. So if you do that and you don't have Kadence Pro installed, you'll get to the Kadence website where you can just say like create a free account and we'll give you credits. And basically we needed to make sure we had a way to get this out for free and let people try it, but also like this is going through OpenAI and it costs money every time we do a prompt to OpenAI. So we had to keep some like checks and balances on the whole system. And so you can see there, this came back and said, generated. Now I didn't need to stay here for that. That was just like, because we're talking. But then if I go into my pages and I create a new page, I now have AI content in the design library. So by default, you're normally used to seeing this by design. Obviously, these pictures are in, which we can talk about in a minute, how cool that is. But now we've got with AI. And what that does is it just drops in AI generated text that actually might resonate with what your actual website is, give you a better example of how to use this content. And there's all these contexts on the side for like, this is products and services. And then we've added this cool filter. So like if you're looking up for products and services and you want a hero section, you can now filter and just see the hero section for products and services. Or, maybe you want to see cards. And now you can just see the card section. So that's been fun to get all that working. And then you can see I'm using these images. I can go in and update the image library here anytime I want. And we really work to make this a lot cooler. So now I don't have any of these images downloaded. I'm using an AI search collection. But you can edit this collection, and this importing images, previously it was taking up to like a minute. But now we have some genius code writers who like did a bunch of multi-thread downloading fun stuff to put these images into your library. So they come in, they've already got alt text, and you can edit your collection. You can add to the collection. You can search pixels for more images to drop into your library. And anytime you do that, that's going to update what shows up here. And then that'll update your library there. So that's the gist of how AI is going to work inside of Kadence. You get this pages, patterns with AI. You can go down. We've got some context that we don't generate by default. So you can come down here and say, like, I want frequently asked questions. I can generate that. And it's going to go through, start generating the content, which, depending on how busy OpenAI is at the time, can be pretty quick or can take 30 seconds. I have a filter on that's hiding. So there they pop all up. And then you've got inline AI. So if you open up the advanced text block and you want to tell it to write something, you can ask it to generate a title and use this copy. And you can drop it right in. I've got it going off screen because I've got the page on the edge, but I can also edit. So right now I've got this selected and I can say, I want to change the tone and make it funny. And then it adds, so they say. So that's the integration with AI. I think it's going to be really the most powerful things I think people are going to find is that you get to put in images. The way that the images allow you to switch through and make different custom selections, you can customize which images show when you're building a page and then add your dynamic content. So choosing your own images instead of like if you have your own images, all you got to do is go in here, edit, update your images, or use one of the collections. And so then that makes that a little bit better when you're adding in content and then just the ability to filter through areas. So then that'll go out. That's going to go free and pro. That has our whole new licensing system in it. And that is going to make life easier because when you do that connection, you won't have to copy and paste license keys anymore. That'll automatically happen in the background. So yeah, that's kind of the work. We've got a new landing page we've put together that's live right now. You can go and check out. And this is all super, super close from going live in terms of getting the design library. And then the next big one that everyone's going to be really excited about is doing starter templates with AI. So, and again, I didn't show, sorry.
Yeah, it's the tab.
The tab.
There it is.
I forgot I was only sharing a tab. But yeah, this is the new page.
Nice.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Very nice. Look at that.
So credits, how they work is basically each prompt is a credit, and you'll find that certain contexts are more credits than others. So here, I'll give you an example. Inside of here, if I go in and look at products and services, if I want to regenerate this, it costs 8 credits, whereas about only costs 5 credits. And that's just because products and services is frankly a huge context where we pull in tons of data from OpenAI, and about we pull in less. And then some of them, like that frequently asked question ones, that's only 1 credit. And anytime you use inline AI, you're using credits. So let me, again, so we can see this. You've got credits remaining. My account, I've been doing a ton of demo stuff, but you get so many credits per license. So if you've got the full bundle, it's 8,000 credits per year. And then lifetime, you have 16,000 credits for life. And we're going to be monitoring that. We feel like that's super generous. We really don't foresee anyone running out of credits, but we've also got a built-in system for how we'll handle like potentially buying credits at cost, that kind of thing. We're not really thinking about credits in a way to make money. It's more in a way to prevent us from losing money. So I think in general, like it's going to be very, very cheap for anyone that like is like, man, I'm a power user of AI and I use it inline a million times. I need more credits. That'll be pretty simple to pull off. Oh shoot! Again, I didn't share the right tab. Man, I gotta just close out my tabs so I stay in this tab. I was showing how you can see the credit spend right here when you're generating content.
Okay. No,
it makes more sense now.
Yes, instead of staring at the. Gosh, I'm sorry.
I was
like
all in my
click
head.
over to like our chat area and see what I'm sharing, and I'm like, oh, fail. So this is what regenerating, and then when you're using inline, it's just 1 credit for any of these actions.
Cool.
So 8,000 credits, like what does that realistically, is that like 8,000 websites? Is that 8,000 pages? Is that 8,000 element? Like what does that translate to for me building a site?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're building out a site, if you wanted to build out every context, it's about 100 credits.
Okay.
So if you've gone through the wizard and you're like, I want to build out all the context, so I have that in my design library, that's about 100 credits. Okay. Then if you're like, I want to use inline and I want to generate 10 things, that's 10 more credits. So it's not it'd be hard to use. In our beta testing, we asked users to test this, go for it. It doesn't cost you anything, and we couldn't find users that spent more than 250 credits. Like it's just you don't go there unless you're like sitting there hitting the like regenerate all content button over and over again, which like at that point it's not like, yeah. So I would say in general, we don't expect anyone to run out of credits. Like,
okay, cool.
We don't expect it.
Okay.
To be something you need to come to us for.
Aaron asked if the credits roll over. So
lifetime credits last lifetime. The yearly credits renew. They start over. So if you only used 2,000 credits in a year, you're just back to 8,000. You don't get like that rollover.
Okay. So now if I have an OpenAI account myself that I'm using, is there a way of like just using that account and connecting it to my Kadence sites or?
Not right now.
Okay.
We're debating creating that kind of flow. It just adds some stuff where we're like, because of our proxy prompt things where it's like harder to retest and clarify all this is working. So we haven't really pursued that. We also kind of don't want to even like, we shouldn't have to, like, it should just work on,
right.
And you shouldn't need, like, again, the whole credit thing is more like, we just need to make sure it doesn't get abused. Not like you're going to run out of credits and need to come buy some. Cause we're talking about if we even offer credits on the site, we're talking about cheap at cost. Like,
okay.
So ideally we don't ever have to go down that route of like custom API keys and verifying all that. It's like, yeah.
That just adds this level of complexity that in this, what you're trying to build is something that makes building sites easier. That's the whole goal of this entire project, right? Is to make building sites easier. So let's not,
yeah.
I
mean, I see people promote that as being like a big plus, but again, like, if we get, this is a better way to put it. If we get a ton of people being like, I would use your AI only if you let me use that, but I can't use it because you won't let me use your API, my API key for some reason. that I don't know, then we'll build it. Like it's not out of the question. It's just kind of like we haven't come to a good reason why we build that in at this point.
Sure. Okay. And Christy, there is a form on the site for beta testing for this.
I would pause that. We're going to push this out for users to opt into what I just showed with design library stuff. We're going to push people to opt into that this week. So you don't,
for real,
meaning you don't need to go through a sign up form. We'll literally like put here's the file you can download straight from our website this week. So look for that this week.
Wow, that's week.
Big this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like being able to do it in the design library and stuff, yeah. Like that's the part we wanted to get out 2 weeks ago, and it's just been the licensing hurdle of like using the authorize, creating a free product that kind of runs in the back end to handle free user credits and then all that. We're at the point now where we can what we're not going to do is push it live on .org yet, but definitely like go and download and play with it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Wow.
Awesome.
Very, very cool. And so AI is something that's going to be available in both free and pro.
Yep.
So whether you're
and it's opt-in.
So,
if you don't go through that authorized flow that I showed,
right,
then all of it's off. So if you're like,
got it,
don't mess with AI on my site, no problem. We're not gonna, we won't use our proxy to hit OpenAI servers or any of that stuff. Like you can opt out of all that.
Amazing. So really putting the power into the user and the site owner's hands. You know how I love that. That's amazing. And if all of this is cool for you and you are thinking about going pro, it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday season. So I've got to give the pitch, right? Go to cadencewp.com right at the top of the page. If you are not yet a pro user, now is the time because it's ending on Wednesday, 2 days from now, right? End of day Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Now is the time. It is definitely the time. Is there any more AI stuff you want to show, or do we have some time to get into some questions?
I think questions is great. Yeah, I think we'll definitely make an AI video with more stuff. The part of AI that's the most exciting for me is the starter templates part, which is a little bit further out, but coming along for sure.
Amazing. Okay. My best friend, potential spam, is calling. Excuse me. I'll turn that off. That's my joke. It's like I have no friends except for my best friend, potential spam. Calls me all the time.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Thank you for being pro. We love it. We love to see that. And we love to see that people are feeling like they are getting their money's work. If you are not yet a pro customer, come join the fun. This is very...
to those who are new to pro, we've had a lot of people sign up this week, which is awesome and exciting, but join the community because that's honestly, in my opinion, the best part of Kadence, but it is a huge fun part is there's this very active and also speedily growing community. I don't think speedily is a word, I just made it one. But the community that's on Facebook, web creator community by Kadence WP, and people are just, I love being in there. It's so fun, so active.
It is.
Definitely join that.
Like last year, we were celebrating hitting like 10,000, like around this time of year, right? It was like December or January when we hit 10,000. And it's like, we're like crazily close to, is it 13,000? I haven't counted lately, but it is. How many people did you let in today, Hannah? It's like,
I feel like I let 20 people in the last hour. I'm like, okay, great.
It's crazy. It is really, really crazy. Yeah. Oops. It just goes fast. The Query Loop plugin is on the downloads page. Yes, Ken, it is. It is on the downloads page. If you go into Kadence WP, sign into your account, and you can find the release candidate in there for Kadence Blocks Pro. And that has the advanced query loop. It also has repeater fields. So you can give that a test, and it will be hopefully live in your ready for download into your dashboard and WP admin of your sites. Hopefully tomorrow. So very exciting there.
That's the plan.
And that is in 2.1 beta, right?
So AI is mostly actually in Kadence Blocks free. That's where a lot of the code's coming from. So what you're going to see is a release for Kadence Blocks free. Pro hooks into it to extend, like, change the way that the credits work a little bit, things like that, in terms of like you're going to get your pro credits, but you don't. Most of that you should expect from Kadence Blocks update, which we have a major one that has like sections improvements and things like that all planned for. That I should have a opt-in, pre-release for that this week. And I can't remember the version number off the top of my head. 3.2, I think. Maybe, 3.2. Sounds right.
Trying to stay on top of all of these comments. They're coming in pretty fast.
I know.
And Paul, like, lots of questions. Paul, there's going to be docs on repeater fields. Our docs team, our support team, let's just give a shout out to them, because they are amazing. When features are in development, they start playing with them. They participate in all of the QA and testing before you guys get a handle on it. And so the docs come very, very quickly onto the documents section of the site. You just go, it's up at the top, next to that Black Friday button where you can get it 40% off. There's there's a link up there for support and the knowledge base and our support team. If you're sitting on the fence and you're wondering, I wonder if these guys really do support their products, go on to wordpress.org, search for Kadence Blocks or Kadence Theme, and read some of the reviews. Some of those reviews are really all about the support team and the support that our team provides to users, both free and pro. People get support on the repo on wordpress.org, and they get support writing in for premium support if they're pro. So the support, it really does drive the success of Kadence. You're not just buying software, you're buying into a community, you're buying into somewhat of a family. We've got the Ritners here. You can become an honorary Ritner. Where am I going?
Yeah.
But it is, this community is really tight knit, and people support each other. You'll find that in the Facebook group, that there's a very strong community element to this as well. All right, let's get some of these. Okay,
and just to clarify, the repeater block docs are up. They are live.
Oh, they are up.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Amazing. See, and I haven't even looked. Good job, Ben. Everybody likes your presentation. All right, let's get into some questions. We'll do the rapid round for the next 10 minutes. What is the best way to place background video versus animation on Kadence Row, and what image compression for pages? Any advice there?
Versus animation. I guess I don't know what. So I guess maybe the question is it better to use some kind of animation or a background video? And I think some of that depends on what you're trying to do. That I don't know how to answer for. I would say the nice thing about a background video is that you're not loading the entire file at once on page load. Whereas like if you're loading a GIF, then you're loading the whole thing, or different, Lottie files. Lottie files can be pretty light, so that's nice, but obviously you're using SVGs for that, and that doesn't really work when you've got like video graphics. So hard to say. There's not a best. It's more of like depends on what you're doing. And image compression, I have used kind of all of them over the last 10 years I've been in WordPress or whatever, and I don't have one that I'm like, this one is better. I tend to, I don't have a major preference on that.
Okay.
They're all pretty good at doing it.
Great. Okay. Are there smaller releases from the roadmap / feedback session that are upcoming that you might want to highlight?
I think we did a major push on the dev team that did the query loop. And right now we're going to have some like different focusing stuff where the team can look at, okay, we want to do version 2 of this query loop where we're looking at products and we're looking at individual post selection and we're looking at things like that, which is already being worked on. But at the same time, we've already started bringing into our sprints a whole bunch of smaller, like, smaller feature stuff. And so I think you'll see a lot more of that as we come through December and into January. We've kind of set some space aside in terms of like, we're not doing any major stuff until we get into January, and then we'll be kind of full in on the advanced navigation block.
Okay. Amazing.
With that team, we kind of got different teams doing different things, obviously, but
a little bit of crossover.
So yes,
Everybody's
I
still
would expect.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and I would expect to see more like smaller stuff that, like the repeater field, the countdown block having repeater options. Repeat, yeah. Sure. One of the biggest issues with full site editing is navigation control and building interesting navigation, especially where you're looking at larger mega menus and stuff like that. And so we are going to tackle that. We've kind of got a plan for how we're going to do it. All toward, really, again, we're gonna be in this weird stage where a tiny fraction of WordPress users are on full site editing, and that is going to slowly increase over time because as new users come in, they're going to opt into it because they like it or whatever. And so we're coming into the stage of like Q1, really pulling the trigger on you'll be able to use a full site editing theme from us. And before we get that out, we need to have feature parity with what we currently offer, which is better navigation, better header controls than what you're going to get in any full site editing experience right now. And so rather than going and build that full site editing theme and being like, doesn't really work for what most people use, we're going to build the blocks and then we're going to put out the theme. So advanced navigation, where you'll be able to look at your navigation in 2 different ways. One in a like, I need this in the list view where I can just order my links and control things. And then one in a design view where like, I need to choose how this is all going to be designed. And then some header block kind of stuff.
Nice. All right. I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have you looked at 2024, the new default theme that came
Yeah.
out from Core? What do you think?
I think it's a good base theme. I would say that if anyone's interested in full site editing, check out 2024. You don't need to go to anything else. I have been I've been kind of promoting that I think Core should just release a default theme that is like the base theme, and we kind of get away from this idea of themes because of what Core has done with full site editing. So a lot of people think of themes as like, I'm choosing my framework for my site. And so like Kadence theme very much does that. Like you're choosing Kadence and you got the starter template package and design library, and you got these tools that we all work and know and love. And Core has always thought of themes as being a skin on a website, or at least that's how they've promoted themes to be. And even when ThemeForest
it's kind of the legacy way of WordPress, right?
It's the legacy, like 13 years old legacy way of WordPress. When ThemeForest blew up and everyone was like buying, I mean, what customers choose to spend money on shows you where their value is. Yeah. People wanted to buy a system that they knew worked. And when you've got a skin that you're trying to deal with, I need design functionality and I need all this stuff, and I need just this site to work at the end of the day. that whole system of like theme being a skin and then you try to piece together everything else with plugins. I really wish that WordPress would have created what I would consider to be like framework foundations of like, I'm going to use Kadence framework. And that means it's controlling the theme stuff and letting that actually happen. But there's no interface for that. And what you can do in a full site editing theme is extremely limited. Like you're not bringing in functionality, custom blocks, things like that. So what Core did with 2022 is great, but again, you're in that same boat of like, now I've got to piece this all together and I'm not using a framework with nice starter templates that can just jump me in, get me where I want to go, help me build a site. So I think it's a good full site editing theme because that's what full site editing themes have been defined as. I don't think it's a good choice to move forward with that. From a WordPress perspective, I think we should be thinking about things in terms of like actually opening up the box of what's a theme and what's a plugin and allow people to create like this another layer. So if I was in control, which I'm not even trying to promote this, but like I think there's certainly a scenario where like WordPress could have a base theme that's like, this is what WordPress is and it's full site editing and stuff, but then you can opt into a framework theme, and that framework theme doesn't have any like borders on it. It's like it can be like, I would love to be able to build a theme and blocks plugin together. It would just make a lot of things really convenient. So anyway, yes, like I think there's certainly a scenario where we just go, okay, everyone's using that theme, 2024, but here's your foundational thing that you install, which is, for us would be Kadence blocks. And that empowers all the other stuff.
Nice. I like that.
Do you think most major updates that you're working on at Kadence will be geared towards blocks rather than updates for the theme itself?
Well, no, because we're going to try, and I've got my fingers crossed on this. We're going to try to make that balance work even inside of the theme. So that way you'll be able to install the Kadence theme and opt into full site editing, which is this idea of a universal theme, which was kind of pitched at the very beginning. And then core developers didn't actually create any way for that to happen, largely because they all realized this is two very, very different things. And if we try to merge them together, it's actually going to confuse and make a mess of the whole thing. We're coming along to the maturity level where it's a little bit easier to consider a point at which we enable a toggle option where we say, you're going to like Kadence is going to be this if you want to be in classic mode, and it's going to be this if you want to be in full site editing mode. And then we can let users choose. There's scenarios we've looked at where we've done that in a child theme, and there's scenarios where we've done it in a completely separate theme. But I think in general, we're not of the approach of like, Kadence will eventually become a legacy theme. Like we're going to just keep updating it to make it like, if you want it to be full site editing, eventually to be full site editing. So we can keep improving even that. Yeah. Like I've got some work done even to improve customizer, which is kind of funny to be working in the customizer, but we did some stuff where we improved like how some of the customizer stuff works with fonts and colors.
Cool. Love that.
Lots of fun stuff happening. Lots of fun stuff coming. There's a lot of questions about when things are coming. When is the timeline for all of this stuff?
Yeah. I'll tell you this. My wife was like, don't ever say when something's coming again. Like, because she knows like it just gets so intense when you're like trying to get stuff out on a deadline. Like, I want to get it out, but I don't want to rush it out in a way that like makes the experience bad or breaks something or whatever. And so we always have to do that balance of like, we think we're going to be here and
Steve frozen for you too, Kathy.
It's always Ben's internet. You froze up a little.
Am I back?
You're back.
voice
Well,
is.
your voice is.
Yeah.
Jake and that's it. That's a wrap, you guys.
It's kind of a
I think
wrap.
I'm back, right?
You're
I
back
feel like
now,
I'm
yeah.
back. Okay.
Your internet is so funky because it'll just like every 20 minutes or so, it'll just like have a nervous breakdown, and then you're just fine the rest of the time. But it's just like every 20 minutes, it just needs to take a break, deep breathing.
Well, we should create a thing to, somehow make like a public poll, get fiber to Ben.
Get fiber to Ben. All of Montana, actually.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is my wife's parents live on a ranch an hour outside of any, city, and they're going to get fiber before me.
Really?
Because there's this whole effort to bring fiber through Montana, but it's like they're doing it on all these county roads where it's like, oh yeah, we can get it to you, but like the neighborhoods are obviously a lot harder to get fiber into. But
yeah, just move the cows over and they can put fiber in anywhere. But all you people who have like plumbing and sewers and stuff make things complicated. Yeah. Deadlines are a hard thing. It's kind of like it's kind of like a baby's due date, right? You set it, but the baby's going to come when the baby's going to come. Just like Kadence AI, right?
That's true.
Yes. Yeah.
I do always tell people when they take that due date and add on 10 more days because most babies come late.
Really? Just like software.
Yeah.
We're all just part of an algorithm now.
But it'll be better. Babies actually eat better and they sleep better when they're late. So it's like the same thing. The software will be better if you just wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, we're an hour in. You guys want to call it now? I know there were some questions we didn't get to. If it's important, hit support. We do have some of the best support people in WordPress available for you, or hit us up in the Facebook group. There's definitely active discussions happening there all the time. Hopefully we answered some of the questions y'all have had over the last few weeks about some of these releases that are coming. And I'm just going to make one final pitch for the sale that's going to end soon. Like 48 hours, it's going to end. Kadence Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale will be gone for another year. So if you've been sitting on the fence and you're wondering, I wonder if I should do this full or lifetime, whatever has been tickling your fancy, now's the time to get it, because you will be queued up for all of these other advancements coming to Kadence, coming to WordPress. I joke all the time that Kadence is the product that made me change my relationship with Gutenberg. Longtime WordPress user, WYSIWYG or the Tiny Mice, whatever it was called. I blogged for ages using the old version of WordPress. Blocks came, and I was like, I see where this is kind of going, but I'm not going to build a whole website till I found Kadence. Now I'm building websites, and I know a lot of the people who are here in the chat are building websites too. Now's the time to get in on Kadence, because Kadence definitely is. My new joke is Kadence is the gateway drug to Gutenberg, because it makes it so much easier. It's just like, oh, maybe I'll try a core block now. Maybe I'll make a pattern. So now I'm doing all this other core stuff and playing around with stuff that I wouldn't have touched before. So Kadence really does make WordPress a lot easier. Any final thoughts?
Nice. Gateway drug. Don't know that's what we want to be known for, but I'll take it.
I know. I'm like, but
I'm here for the lulls and entertainment. I'm here for the jokes. That's why I'm showing myself the door. I'm just it's been fun. It's been fun being here with you guys this afternoon and answering all the questions and chatting with everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for using Kadence. And we will see you all next time.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.